See this beautiful timeline? How much time do you think I took to create it? Hours? It can be created in minutes. Hard to believe? Let's see the intro and I'll show you how. Hello professionals, this is Diogo Roldao from Office to the Point with another trick to improve your capability to produce and deliver outstanding plans. PowerPoint today, in the corporate world, is one of the most popular tools into the Office suite. It's being used for everything, from selling ideas to define architectural complex solutions. Among all the types of use, it's extremely common to create plans in PowerPoint, right? And when this word timeline comes in the picture, what is the first tool that comes into your mind? Not PowerPoint, it's Excel, right? That's because the majority of people that are creating timelines today believe that creating timelines in PowerPoint is way too time consuming and end up creating these stuffs in Excel. And this is not bad, considering that I created it very nicely for this class. In this video, you will learn how to create a 10 times better timeline in PowerPoint using the same data in just few minutes. It's simpler than you thought. So guys, see this screen. This is a timeline that I created in few minutes using one tool called Office Timeline. As I'm entering my tasks or my milestones on this tool automatically calculates how is the size of my task or where my milestone needs to be positioned in relation to the beginning and the end of my first and my last task, also in relation to the timeline, so to the point of time where these elements must appear. This tool calculates it automatically. So from October 7 to October 20, for instance, represents this space here. From November 1st to November 30 represents this space here on this time frame. This is very nice and it makes your life very easy when creating timelines. Same to this milestone. Happening on October 31st means here on this time frame. And this tool even brings you when is today. See, today is here at the perspective of this timeline. This tool also breaks the tasks, if you want, into categories. This tool call it swim lanes, shows you the beginning year and the end year. See how in January it switches to 2021. Here it's still 2020. I can choose to hide these dates, from the edges here. I'm leaving them because I like them, and I can play with any color and any format in any position the way I want. If I want the data to be gray or to be red or to be purple, if they want them to be splitting like this or inside or over the element or under the element, all the characteristics of these tasks and milestones that you are seeing on the screen is manipulable by this tool. Very nice, so let's see how it works. At the first glance, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see these buttons, only few, which is nice. Not many things for us to concern. And this new tab here, see, Office Timeline Pro. This is Pro because I have the Pro license. I pay these guys for this license. The only difference between Pro and free is that the free license allows you to play with 10 elements on your screen. The Pro license allows you to play with as many as you want. And this is pretty much, on this sample here, I'm going to only play with 10, so we'll be fine for you. The first button is the button where you create new templates. You create one timeline from scratch. So here, once I open it, I click on it, I'll see these many options for me to choose. The one you guys are seeing back here is this one here, development roadmap. Let's click twice on it. It will bring me one sample for me to confirm this is the one I like. If this is not the one, I can click here and navigate to other ones. It's fine, whatever that fits more to my need. Once I click on use template, it will suggest me data really, entries on this timeline just for the sake of illustrate this sample for you. Once I click in create, it will bring me the timeline on the screen. Then I can play with this data and change it to be more like my project and not what is coming here on the screen. Let's delete this one because we're not going to use it and focus on this one here, which is the sample that I prepared for you. Here, import and export, I'm going to keep this to the end because this is a very nice feature and that deserves to be explained in detail. So let's jump to the next one. Share is where you got your timeline ready and you want to share with your team, your managers, your customer, whoever needs to receive this timeline. And then you choose one of these options. These first three to send on the email as a picture, the whole slide as a picture, or the whole presentation as a picture, or to copy to the clipboard this image itself. So for the sake of this simple, I'm gonna only copy the image. If I open the paintbrush and do Ctrl-V, see, I have the image here, ready for me to place it wherever I want. The next one here is template. I can change this format by choosing any of these other elements here. I'm not gonna do this now because it will mess up my design. But if I click on any of these, this layout here would be automatically applied to here. It's a very nice feature. If I didn't like the one I chose originally, and I already informed data to it. The next section, edit, is for me to play with this data. So what is data? It's what is written here. See, architecture, solution, development, testing, development, ready to start, scoping. If I need to play with this, I click here and see, here's all my data. If I change this to 1 and here to 2, I add 2 at the end of all of them. See, 2, here is 3. See, I don't know, sometimes it put the focus at the end, at the beginning. And this is 4. If I click on save, see, it's everything changed from this button here. Edit timeline is a very nice button because I can do visual changes by dragging and drop. This is a very new feature and a very well done. If I need, for instance, this timeline to be on the same line as this milestone here, I'll just drag it up. See, when it highlights in red, if I release it, see, it became at the same line. Same happens here with this milestone. If I need this milestone to be at the same line of this task, I will drag here. The name of the milestone became overlapping with the task. I just need to click and drag, and see, it's now fixed. I can put it towards the upper part as well, see? And it's also fixed. I would not do it because it's wasting space here, see? So I would put on the right side to save space. This is all what this tool is about, to add elements to your timeline and save space. Because it will be very often that you want to add a lot of elements to this slide, to your presentation, to demonstrate your idea at the most. In those cases, you're going to see that your timeline will extrapolate the visual area of your slide, and you don't want that. So this option right here was created for this purpose, for you to visually drag and drop and do the visual adjustments to make your timeline to fit on the screen. Very nice feature. If I click on save, see, it applied my changes here on the timeline. Style pane, if I click on it, it will open this pane here on the right, just like any other pane in PowerPoint. This pane, once I click on elements, it allows me to change the element aspects. So if I don't want red anymore, I want it to green, see, I can do it here. If I don't want this shape anymore, I want this rounded shape, I can click it here. If I wanted this title to be changed, I click on the title, and I want to change the font to, let's say, I don't know, red, see, it becomes red just by changing here. If I wanted the font red across the whole timeline, I click here in apply to all, and it will ask me which type of features of characteristics I want to apply to all. In this case, I want to apply the color. This is the checkbox to determine if I wanted to apply this change to the swim lane only or to all swim lanes. So if I uncheck it and do apply, see what happens? Every title became red. And then you ask, why these 2 or these 3 here, they kept in black? Because these are milestones. Milestones is one event that happened in one specific point of time, which is not a task. Task has a start and an end date. A milestone is one point of time where something must happen or something must exist by that time. So that is the beginning of your project, the end of your project, the beginning or ending of one phase, when you want to sign your contract with your customer. So when something important will happen or must happen on a point of time, that is milestone 4. Alright? And why these guys became black? Because they are milestones, they are not tasks, they are different entities. So if I click here on this milestone and click here on title, or click here on the milestone title, see what happens here? It already brings me the focus on title, not on the shape where I was before. See? If I click here, I'm on shape. If I click here, I'm on title, but into the same group which is here. See? Milestone. Alright? If I click here and put now, let's say blue, and do apply to all, and I mark here same way and choose the color, now it's all blue. Several aspects of this design you can change from this pane here. When I click here on this date, you are always going to see that this pane will move towards what you want to manipulate. See? 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 If I click here on the time pane, see? So if I click on swim lane, see? It moves towards what you want to manipulate. This panel is so nice for you when you are creating your timeline. If I wanted this data to not to be splitting like this, to be towards the right side, I click here on the right side, I do apply to all, unmark this thing again, check on position, because this is position, see, position, and do apply, see, now every date is towards the right side of the tasks. Very nice, no? If I want to reverse, I do the reverse path, and see, they are back to where they were. Bonus number 1, or tip number 1, avoid doing Ctrl-Z. If you do Ctrl-Z on this tool, it may get it crazy. So if you are doing Ctrl-Z, at least click on this button here, see the screen? To make the tool understand the change that happened by your Ctrl-Z. So let's say that I wanted to go back to the right side. This was done by the Ctrl-Z, not by the pane. See the pane here, it's not seeing the change I did. So this tool might get crazy. For you to avoid that, and you did the Ctrl-Z, click here and accept. Sometimes it accepts, sometimes it doesn't. See what happened here? It moved again to be splitting, because Ctrl-Z in this tool doesn't work much nice. But knowing this, you just get used not to do Ctrl-Z and do or undo what you need on this tool. Alright? If I click here on the time band, I can play with the scale of this time band here of my project. Right now it's in months. I can put in weeks, for instance. And instead of week 1, 2, 3, 4, this is another way to demonstrate data. I will choose the actual dates. And see, now it's showing every other week. So it's a period of 14 days. And why is breaking 14 days? Because my timeline goes from October 7 to February 7. So it's a very wide range of events happening in my plan. So this is how the tool automatically calculated these little separations here. See these little blocks? This is where the dates start. So this is how the tool automatically calculated. You cannot change this, how the data is calculated here. This is automatically done. So many people see this as a drawback. I see it as just the way things were developed. If you want to avoid the tool to break every other week like this, only add up to 10 periods. It can be 10 hours, 10 days, or 10 weeks, whatever, but 10 periods. If I'm not mistaken, it goes up to 13 or 14, but you guys play here and you guys will find out how many periods it fits until it starts breaking. Then, if you do this, if you respect the limit of periods that it has, it will not break in this complicated way to see every other week. In this case here, because the timeline is wider, I'm gonna go back to months, because months is, it's better to see. And see here, the blocks, they are automatically calculated. Whenever you define a date here, start and ending, or a milestone, the tool will automatically position it here on the UI proportionally at the time frame, at the time band. See? So because this timeline started on October 7 and finished on February 7, this is the exactly point of time where these tasks will start and finish proportionally to the duration of my timeline. This is so nice feature. If I wanted to produce this simple timeline here manually, I would waste literally days. There is one bug in this tool that happens to very few people, but happened to me. So I see as important to let you guys know if you see this bug. It may be annoying if you don't know how to overcome. Let's see the screen. Sometimes when you open the PowerPoint, this new ribbon here will not appear, will disappear from here. And then you may think, hey, where is my add-on? To bring this ribbon back, you need to enable this developer ribbon. Right click here on any empty space, choose customize ribbon, find the developer tab, enable it, it will appear here. Then click on developer and click here on com add-in. Make sure this checkbox is marked. It will be like this if you have the bug in your computer. Then mark it and do OK. The ribbon will appear back to your PowerPoint. Alright guys, liking so far? Very nice tool, no? Let's see the bonus now. The bonus one, it's about one little change on this tool to make your life better. Because this tool will add one thing to your PowerPoint that will be very annoying. The Style Pane, that very nice one that you saw that helped you to creating timelines on this tool, will now be appearing all the time. Every time you open your PowerPoint, that slide pane will appear. Doesn't matter if you are creating or not a timeline, that pane will always be there and you would always to be closing that. So because I'm using PowerPoint a lot more than creating timelines, it's actually annoying. So how should I get rid of that? Let's see the screen. You'll see this pane here all the time now on in your PowerPoint. To get rid of it, click on settings. This first checkbox here, it will be like this, unmark it and do save. Then once you close this guy, unless you click here, you are not going to see this pane anymore in your life. Now guys, the second bonus. This bonus will cause you the wow effect. If I got your wow on this bonus here, please type on the comments wow. Alright? Remember when I mentioned to you about these two buttons that I would leave them to the end because they are so nice? See what happens. If I come to my Excel and change this to 15 and do enter and save, see, save it. I go back to my PowerPoint. If I click here on this sync button, see what happens. It found that I had the date 20 here, but there is a difference with my Excel 15. If I click here to accept this change, see what happens to this task here. I will click on finish. See? My timeline that was on my PowerPoint got automatically updated from one Excel. Now think, everyone creates now timeline on Excel because the people think it's too complicated to create timelines in PowerPoint. Now, once you see this thing working, what is your reaction? It's whoa. If it's whoa, type here in the comments. Okay? Now guys, to this second button here, this is the third bonus. You may be thinking, hey Diogo, but how you got this timeline to connect to that Excel? Very simple, my dear friend. I will come here to the place where the Excel is, which happens to be here. Copy the path from my Windows. I will click here on import and import data. I will choose Excel. There are four sources to import. On this sample, I'm going to use Excel. I will click on here. I will paste the path here to where the file is and choose my timeline here. Alright, the Windows itself brought me this preview. I just look and say, yeah, this is the one I want. I'll click on open. This tool will bring me this UI, asking me which sheet I wanted to import from. If your file has more than one sheet, just choose the sheet that you want to import from. I'll click on next. And here it will try to find out like the data that it needs against the data that is there now in your Excel file. Swim lane, remember, are these categories here. So I will open here and choose the swim lane column. Here is the task or milestone name. I will choose the stream and see, these are the task or milestone name. And here is the start and end date it found correctly. So you must match this. This is what I need. This is what the tool needs. And these are all the options that I have available. So you must match, where is the data to these positions here. Once you match and you do finish, it will create a new slide with the timeline already placed in there. This design is different because it just uses one of the templates that was already here. Then if I play with the colors and position, it becomes like this. A lot better. I'll be creating one course about this too, because there are a lot more tricks and in special the way you think to convert this to this and how to fit the elements into one slide in a very smart way. This course will have a special price for people who is already subscribed to my channel. So if you like PowerPoint, if you use Excel for your plans, and if you are looking for a timeline to better present your work to the world to look more professional, subscribe to my channel right now, because for the people who are my subscribers, you are gonna get one amazing discount to this course. Very well. The link to these files that are used in this video are down here on the description. You may need to redo the links in PowerPoint as it's related to my own computer. In this video up here, I will teach you how to do it. In this week, I was supposed to deliver you the series about the Microsoft project. This tool is so unique that it took me by surprise with the complexity of producing a series for it. I even thought in abandoning the idea, but a man's word is a man's word, and I can't break it. This is how my dad, who is looking after me from the skies, taught me. Next week, folks, a series of 5 videos about the Microsoft project will be waiting for you. Thanks for watching. See you then.